Here we go. Livy, Book 1, Chapter 20. Tum, then, sacerdotabus creandus enamun adiecet. Adiecet can mean to add to, it can mean to cast or hurl. When it's used with the eyes or an animum, the mind, it just means turn to. So then he turned his animum, his mind, creandus sacerdotabus. This would be a gerundive to the creating of priests, and they're in apposition with each other. Quam, although ipsi himself, plura sacra obibat. Obibat can mean several different things. Obviously here it means undertaking or performing some duty, so he performed plurima sacra, which is many sacred duties. Ea, this can be female or plural neuter. Ea maxima quae nunc ad dialum flamen pertinent. Okay, so it's going to be plural from pertinent. So these things, maxima especially, these things are now, which pertain or are done by the dialum flamen. This is a particular type of priest. Said, but because in civitate bellicosa, in with the ablative, bellicose is an adjective meaning warlike. So in a warlike civitate state, plures Romuli quam nume simile reges pudabat. Okay, so plures reges means many kings, pudabat he was thinking. That'd be similes to Romulus than to Numa. This is what he was thinking. Fores the future of esse or sum. That ipsos, this would be these reges themselves. Ituros is another type of future, so we have the basic future and then this other type of future. He was thinking that these kings themselves, these many kings, would be going off into war, so they would be leading armies into war. Ne sacra regie vicis deserentur. So we have, let's say, basically you might want to say deserting the sacred duties of the king. Vicis is in turn or in succession. So he didn't want to leave these sacred duties of the gods deserted while he was off in war. A flamen Jovi. Flamen again is this type of priest, which we saw up here. To Jove, or of Jove, a priest of Jove. Assiduum sacerdotum. Assiduously means continuously or perpetually. Sacerdotum again is the priest. Creavit, he created, the past tense. Insignique and insignate eum him veste, and he would be in a some clothing that would stand out, this insignia, and curae regia sella adornat, so he would be adorning him with some sharp clothing, and the regia sella is a royal chair, basically the curule chair, if you know what that is. He would take this seat. Huic, dative, to this, duos flaminis adiecet. And we saw adiecet up here with mind, meaning turn the eyes. Here it does mean adding, as in the normal sense. So he had a duos flaminis, two more of these flamen priests. Unum and altorum, one was to Mars, the second was to Quirinus. This is how Latin handles the word to, it usually just goes altorum. Virgins qui, and virgins vestae leget, so he chose them, or picked them. The same words used for reading as you use for picking. I guess you're picking words from the page. So, and he picked Vestal virgins. Alba oriandum sacerdotium. We have genitives here of rising of these priests. I guess that's ablative from Alba. And gentai condoris hord aliem. So they were hord aliem. They were not alien to the gentai condoris, to the race or the family lineage of the Condora, the founder of the city. Here's these, so that assidua, we saw assidua right there with the priest, now it's the female form, assidua, templi antistets, assent. So these, so that assent, they would have been, antistets are priests, but they're female priests, so are they priestets, split by the genitive of the temple. Assidua, so there would be perpetual priestesses of the temple. A stipendium, which is a paycheck. De publico statuit, so he established payment for these Here's the his, this is them. They're getting the stipend, the wages from public funds. Virginitate alias qui ceremoniis venerabilis ac sanctas fecit. So he made, well, they're obviously going to be virgins, obviously for it to be Vestal virgins, and venerable and sacred, sanctified other ceremonies. So this is in the ablative form. So made it so that they were in a perpetual state of virginhood and venerable and other ceremonies. Ceremonies is pretty much the same in English. Salios, these are sali in English items. So likewise, do at M12, legate he picked for Mars gravidus. That would be a dative for them. So salios is probably the only unfamiliar word there. Tunicae qui pictae insigne dedit. Insigne, I think, is the neuter third. It's like a mark. So he gave them the, it's actually an embroidered tunic. Pictae means it's got some depiction on it. And super, which means above the tunica. We've got a super with a accusative. Above this tunic, anium pectori tegumen. Anium means bronze, tegumen is a covering, pectori is the chest region. So there were 12 of them picked for Mars gravidus, and did it. He gave them this embroidered tunic, and to go above the tunic was a bronze covering breastplate for the pectori. Caelestia qui arma quae ancilia pellantor ferre ac per urbum ire canantes carmina cum tripudus solum qui saltato usit, which is the word for order. Celestia qui arma, and celestial armor, here's the thing which he is usited, he is ordered, so you'd expect there to be orata obliqua, which is infinitive and accusative. Quae which ancilia appellantor, so this is plural again, armor. The ancilla is actually a heavenly shield, so celestial means it comes from the heavens. So this armament was a shield. Here we go with the infinitive, which they would bear, ac per urbem ire, and to bear and to go through the streets, through the city, carnenting. It looks like a present participle or something. For singing, a carmina would be songs with tripudus solum qui saltatu. So they'll be singing these songs with a triple beat, a tripudus, a solemn dance, solemni salatu. So I'm guessing this cum is taking ablative or something, yeah. So yeah, they go through the streets of the city singing a song and doing their solemn dance with a triple beat. Pontificem, a pontifex, which the Pope's now called. So this is the high priest, deinde then, numam Marcium, numa Marcius, filium Marci, the son of Marcus, ex patribus, from the fathers or from the senators, legate he picked. So then he picked the pontificem, and it was this guy, the son of this guy. Ei qui, and to him, sacra omnia, ex scripta means copied, ex signata qui, attributed. So he's distributed ei to him, or he's given all the sacred writings which are copied and fully copied, or exactly as they were, ex signata. Quibus hostis, not to be confused with hostis, an enemy. This is hostis, which is a sacrificial victim. Quibus debus, and which days. So what type of things to sacrifice, whether it be a pig or a chicken or a cow or whatever. And which diebus, which days. Adque templa, into which temple. Fierent be made the sacra, the sacrifice. Atqui undi, and from where in eos sumptus pecunia erogata. Erogata means to be paid out as well. So sumptus is an expense, pecunia is the money used in the expense. So he's deciding from where should this payment come from to be used for the cost in eos in these sacrifices, etc. Okay. We'll have a daily dictionary, which I have from this site. Ex signo, which we saw there, to mark down exactly, write down in detail. So we saw it was copied and then written exactly in detail which was back up here somewhere. Exscripta was the copy. Exsigna comes from exsigno, the verb. A first conjugation, it says. Okay, cetera. Quoque, also, for the rest, etc. Omnia publica privataque, all things public and private. Sacra, that's the sacrifices. Pontificis scitis subject. Everything here was subject. The rest of things, which was all these public and privates, they were subject to the Pontifex scitis. Ut esset, so that, quo, there's a place to go, this would be towards, the plebs could venerate for a consultum. This is the supine, followed by a verb of motion. So they would come to this Pontifex and they would be subject to his scitis, which are decrees or his orders. Ne quid, this goes together, less that anything. Divina juris negligendo would be neglected. Any rights, it looks like juris patrias, any of the paternal or the ancestral rights of the divinities, of the divine things would be neglendoed in a gerund here. Yeah, there's rights, rightus. And peregrinos qui be adsciscendoed turburento. So turburento would be confused by the adsciscendoing, by the entering into some sort of alliance with peregrine, with the foreign rights. So the plebs would go to the Pontifex if they had any problems, I'm guessing, for their consultums, and they didn't want to neglect any of the rights of the divine ancestral ones, and things be confused by having foreign rights come in. Nec caelestes modo ceremonias, said justa quoque funebria placendosque manes ut idem pontifex edoceret, quaeque prodigia fulminibus a Jove, quo visu missa sasciperentor atque curentor. So nec caelestes modo, so it would be not only, modos only would be celestial ceremonies or ceremonies for the heavenly bodies, said, but quoque also justa funebra, these are funeral rites, so just or lawful funeral rites. Placendosque manes, this is the gerundive going with manes, the spirits of the dead. So the placendos, dosing of them, this would be the placating the dead ghosts of their ancestors. Ut idem, and likewise Pontifex would edocerate, he would teach these things or inform them what rites should be done. So what have we got? Celestial ceremonies, funeral rites, and how to placate the ancestors who are dead. Quaeque, in which prodigy, prodigies are like omens, fulminibus a Jove, quo viso misso. So these would be visu, quo visu, these are seen, these prodigies. Missa is sent. It's usually a female looking thing. So these prodigies are sent, prodigia missa, by Jove, who is their head god. Fulminibus is like lightning strikes, quo visu, which is seen. So scipirentor, this Pontifex could take up and curentor, he could curate them or care for what right should be happening when they saw these omens and prodigies of lightning strikes. And what do we got? Ad ea alicienda, so we could elicit ea, is just the pronoun, from mentibus divinos, from the minds of the divine gods. So we could elicit from the minds of the gods, Jova alicio, an aram in Aventine dicavit. So we dedicated, dicavited, an aram, an altar on the Aventine hill, to Jove, would it be Jupiter Alicius or something? Is that his name? Deum qui consolat auguries. So we console in the auguries of the gods, quae which things, so scipienda esset. This is the periphrastic must be done. Which things must be scipienda, what must be done, what must be undertaken. So here he gets to know exactly what is in the minds of the gods. That's why he put this altar here and they would consult these what the gods wanted to be done in auguries.